AITA for locking my wife out after she asked for an open marriage while cheating on me? Hello, I'm usually just a lurker here, but things have spiraled out of control, so I thought I'd post this. We weren't fancy, but we were real. Married 5 years, 2 kids, a small house in a quiet part of town. I ran a concrete crew, real work that ruins your boots and your knees. Maya was the steady one. She ran the house, packed lunches, remembered birthdays, and sent me pictures of the kids doing silly things during the day. Our routine was takeout on Fridays, movie night with the kids asleep between us. We were a team. No games, no drama. We were the couple making it work without needing to post about it online every 5 minutes. I paid the bills, fixed whatever broke, never missed a shift. She kept the house running, made sure I had a hot meal and clean clothes. We laughed. Some nights we slept tangled up. We didn't argue much, and when we did, it never lasted more than a few hours. I used to come home after a long day and hear my kids yelling and Maya humming while she cooked. That was the kind of chaos that didn't bother me. She was happy. I was proud. We had a routine that wasn't perfect, but it was solid. Then things started to change. Not fast or loud, just small details that didn't add up. First, she stopped sitting with me for dinner. She said she was tired, that she needed time for herself. I got it. The kids are a lot. But it didn't stop there. She stopped texting me during the day. No more pictures of the kids. No, I miss you. When I texted her, she'd reply with one word. Yeah. Okay. Busy. Then came the makeup. She started getting all dressed up just to run errands. Hair done, perfume, new leggings, just to go to the post office. She'd never done that before. She said she was getting into wellness, that she signed up for yoga and Pilates, bought things online, expensive water bottles, mats, journals. I asked who was paying for all of it. She rolled her eyes at me and said it was her money. That was new, too. She said she needed to find herself again, that she was more than just a mom. I told her I never said otherwise. She went quiet and walked away. I thought she was going through something. Stress, burnout, it happens. I didn't push it. I gave her space. I started doing more around the house, making breakfasts, putting the kids to bed, folding laundry at night, just trying to keep things balanced. But the space I gave her, she filled with distance. She stopped sleeping in our bed half the time. She claimed the little one was having trouble sleeping, so she'd stay in his room. A night, maybe 2, I get it. But it turned into weeks, then a month. I started waking up alone more often than not. Weekends used to be family time, breakfasts together, parks, activities with the kids. She started planning solo outings, girls' nights, day trips with her yoga friends. She never wanted me to meet them. She said I wouldn't fit in with them. The kids noticed. One night, my youngest asked me why Mom didn't eat dinner with us anymore. I told him she was busy, not knowing what else to say. Then the phone thing changed. She took it everywhere, even the bathroom, always face down. She used to hand it to me to look something up while she was driving. Now it was glued to her hand. I didn't check it first. I'm not that guy. But the more she pulled away, the more obvious it became. One night, I passed her in the hall. She was smiling down at her screen. I asked, "What's so funny?" She locked the screen and said, "Just a dumb meme." She didn't show me. Didn't even pretend to. That's when the alarm bells went off. I didn't want to believe it, but something was wrong. I started paying more attention. The yoga trips got longer. Sometimes she'd leave after dinner and come back past midnight. She said they went for smoothies after class, then that they were doing late-night meditations. Sure. One night, she left her phone charging by mistake. I didn't even try to snoop. I walked past the nightstand and saw a notification. A message from someone named Mason. Can't stop thinking about last night. Let's do it again soon. That's when the doubt ended. When she came back that night, I didn't say anything. I greeted her, asked if yoga was good. She smiled, said, "Amazing," kissed my cheek, and went upstairs. She didn't know that I knew, and I wasn't going to blow it by reacting, because the moment I saw that text, I stopped being the guy holding the house together and started being the guy making a plan. The next morning, she was humming in the kitchen like nothing was wrong. Making coffee, feeding the kids, acting like she hadn't spent the night with a guy named Mason. I watched her pour cereal for our little boy in the same old pajamas, making small talk as if her life wasn't rotting from the inside out. I sat down, ate my eggs, said nothing. The kids were laughing at cartoons. I asked if their backpacks were ready. She kissed our oldest on the forehead like she still deserved that role. Before I left, I said, "We need to talk tonight." She paused with a spoon in one hand and her phone in the other. "Sure," she said. "Everything okay?" I replied, "Just talk." And I walked out. I worked all day, calm, pouring concrete like always, letting my mind run on autopilot while my hands did the work. I wasn't angry or panicked. I was ready. That night, after the kids were in bed, I sat on the couch with her phone in my hand. I didn't need to unlock it. I just held it up and said, "This guy, Mason, have you been sleeping with him?" I asked. She blinked once, then twice. No gaslighting, no fake outrage. Just a sigh through her nose as she said, "I've been feeling bored." She actually said that. Bored, like this was a hobby that was no longer entertaining her. And then came the final blow. "I've been thinking maybe we should try an open marriage." Straight-faced, no guilt, no apology. She said it like she was suggesting we switch streaming services. Total detachment. I nodded slowly, not raising my voice, not flinching. "Yeah, sure," I replied. "Let's try it." She blinked in surprise, then gave a smug smile. She walked over, kissed my cheek, and said, "I knew you'd come around eventually." She thought she'd secured the win, that she was clever, that I would keep cooking, fixing the gutters, putting the kids to bed, while she went to motels with her lover. The next morning I kissed the kids, packed my lunch, and hit the road. Then I called Marilyn. She wasn't just any lawyer. I knew her through a client I'd done foundation work for a while back. Good guy. He once told me, "If you're ever in a jam, call Marilyn. She doesn't miss." He was right. I told her everything. I told her I had proof that my wife was cheating and now trying to dress it up as a progressive marriage experiment. We lived in a community property state. I didn't want her walking away with half. I didn't want her walking away with anything. Marilyn listened without interrupting, then said, "We'll make sure she gets what she deserves, which won't be much." She gave me a list of steps. I followed it like gospel. Step 1. Open a new bank account in my name only. I left just enough in the joint account to cover bills. I didn't want Maya to get suspicious. I switched my paycheck to the new one. She didn't say a word. Step 2. I transferred the title of my truck to my LLC. I had registered a small handyman business years ago. I barely used it, but it was legal. Now, the truck was a business asset, not marital property. Step 3. I told Maya I wanted to refinance the house. I made it sound normal, like a way to lower the monthly payments. I passed her the papers. She signed a quitclaim deed that removed her name from the title. She didn't even scan them. She signed, smiled, and said, "It's good to see you being proactive again." Step 4. I dug out the old iPad we used when the kids were little and connected it to her iCloud. She never even asked where it was. Within hours, messages, photos, calendar invites, and voice notes started pouring in. She was handing it all over without realizing it. She and Mason talked constantly, morning, noon, and night. He was also married with 2 kids. His public profile was that of a suburban saint, family photos, birthday cakes, matching outfits. But his texts were garbage. He told Maya she was his escape, that she made him feel like a man again. She called him babe and sent him mirror selfies in my own bathroom, wearing clothes I hadn't seen in months. They booked hotels under fake names. She used a Google Voice number. I tracked everything. Screenshots, receipts, hotel records, even her Venmo history. I backed it all up twice. Marilyn was surgical. She told me the next steps. Remove Maya's name from all household accounts, revoke power of attorney, switch the utilities to my LLC, set up a security system, and change the code on the smart lock. She wants to be free, Marilyn told me. So we'll give her freedom. Meanwhile, Maya started to glow. She came home late from yoga, wore tighter jeans, took vitamins, and even started cooking again like she was rewarding me for being so understanding. She told me she had planned a retreat with her yoga friends out of town. 2 weeks to reset. Sounds nice, I said. She asked if I'd be okay with the kids alone. We'll be fine. Take your time. She gave me a long hug before she left. Real emotional. She probably thought she was being noble, that she was finally choosing herself. She packed, kissed the kids, and left as if she were coming back to a house that was still hers. While she was gone, I completed the final phase. Everything was set. She had no clue. She came back 3 days early. I don't know if Mason backed out, if they fought, or if she just got bored again. But she pulled up on a Thursday night like nothing had changed. I watched it all on the security camera from my truck. She was in leggings, hair in a bun, looking at her phone, walking to the door like she owned the place. She tried the code. Nothing. Tried it again. Nothing. One more time. Nothing. She shook her head, confused. Looked around, maybe thinking the system was bugged. She knocked softly, waited, then knocked harder. She had no idea I was a block away in a gas station parking lot, watching the whole thing on my phone. I texted Marilyn. She's home. Her reply was quick. Let's go. 15 minutes later, we pulled into the driveway. Me in my truck, Marilyn in her sedan. Both calm. She was holding a manila folder. I just had the keys in my pocket and peace in my chest. Maya spun around when she saw us. Why isn't the door opening? She asked, already annoyed. I walked up slowly, saying nothing. Marilyn beside me, her heels clicking like it was just another meeting. I unlocked the door with the master key, but blocked the entrance. Maya tried to push past me. I held up a hand and gave her the folder. What is this? She snapped. Divorce papers. Everything is covered. You've been removed from the property title. The utilities are no longer in your name. The locks have been changed. The bank accounts are closed. You don't live here anymore. Maya's face crumbled. What the hell are you talking about? You can't just kick me out. Marilyn spoke for the first time. Actually, he can, and he did. Your name was legally removed from the property over 2 weeks ago. Maya's voice went shrill. No, that was the refi. You signed it when I told you we could lower the mortgage. You didn't read it. You just wanted me to shut up. So I shut up, and you signed away your rights. That silenced her for a moment. She stood frozen, flipping through pages as if her mind couldn't process it. Her face turned red. Then she looked up at Marilyn. Oh my God. Is this why you're here? Are you sleeping with your lawyer? Maya spat. Marilyn didn't flinch. No, I'm just the one who helped dismantle your lie. Maya turned on me, full meltdown mode. You can't do this. You can't just erase me. I took a step back and opened the door just enough for her to see the clean living room behind me. Everything in its place. Nothing missing, except her. You said you wanted freedom, I replied. You've got it. She took a step forward, but I closed the door halfway. You'll get visitation arrangements through the court. Anything you left behind that legally belongs to you. We'll pack it up and have it sent to you. She blinked. Are you serious? I didn't answer. That's when it really hit her. No, you can't. I don't have a job right now. Where the hell am I supposed to go? Maybe ask Mason, I said. That name hit her harder than the door. She went quiet. Then she started to fall apart, screaming, crying, pounding on the door, accusing me of being cruel, of abandoning my family, of owing her something. The same woman who ditched her kids for yoga retreats and healing weekends with a married man was now demanding loyalty. She started calling people, her mom, her best friend, Cassidy. I could hear the panic in her voice from inside the house. The same woman who called me boring 6 weeks ago now sounded like a victim on the porch she had abandoned. 10 minutes later, Cassidy showed up, Maya's best friend. Tank top, top knot, flip-flops slapping the pavement. She didn't even greet me. You're a piece of shit, she yelled. After everything Maya did for you. Marilyn stepped in. She cheated. He has proof. Your friend was served. This is not your business. Cassidy scoffed. Oh, so you're the other woman now. I knew it. Marilyn smiled and pulled out a copy of the court order. If either of you tries to enter the property, it becomes criminal trespassing. If you don't believe me, you can wait for the officer I just texted. Cassidy froze. You called the cops? No, I said, but we have them on speed dial. Cassidy pulled on Maya's arm. Let's go. Maya didn't move. She stared at me, broken and furious, as if I were the one who had cheated. You were supposed to love me no matter what. I looked her straight in the eye. I did, right up until you slept with someone else. She finally turned and got in Cassidy's car. They peeled out. Inside, I locked the door, checked the cameras, and closed the blinds. Marilyn sat at the kitchen table, reviewing documents again like it was just another Thursday. Calm, orderly, focused. We didn't talk much. She told me the court date was set, that custody would be straightforward because I had everything documented, and that the asset division was already ironclad. I nodded. Thanks for everything. She gave a small smile. You handled this better than most. I didn't want revenge, I said. I just wanted a quiet exit. You got both, didn't you? She replied. We didn't hug. We didn't flirt. We just got back to business. She packed her files, and I walked her to her car. She thanked me for the coffee. I thanked her for the clarity. But for the first time in months, the house felt clean, the air still. And Maya, she had nowhere to go, no man to save her, and nothing to take with her. By Friday morning, Maya was already making calls. My neighbors heard her crying to her mother from a bench around the corner. She claimed I ambushed her, blindsided her, financially abused her, emotionally manipulated her. New terms, zero accountability. By noon, I got a text from her mother, the same woman whose rent I'd paid 3 times last year. The same one who called me a good man after I fixed her water heater during a storm. She wrote, "You should be ashamed of yourself. Your children deserve better." I didn't respond. At 2 p.m., Cassidy posted a rant on Facebook. Full drama. She said Maya had been thrown out like trash by her husband of 5 years while trying to heal from years of silent suffering. With hashtags in all caps. A few of Maya's cousins commented, "Men are trash." I knew it. He was always controlling. None of them had called in the last year, not even for birthdays. Marilyn sent me screenshots. She was already preparing the response for the custody hearing. She told me to stay quiet. I did. The next day, Maya filed a petition for emergency temporary orders. She claimed I'd locked her out without notice, that I was using the kids as leverage, that I had financially abused her. Her paperwork was a mess. No dates, no evidence, just rage on paper. The judge denied it in less than 2 hours. On Monday, she showed up to the hearing in dark sunglasses. Cassidy behind her, arms crossed. They didn't make eye contact with anyone. Mason's wife, however, walked in alone, in a business suit, folder in hand, serene. Marilyn had already sent her everything. Photos, texts, call logs, hotel reservations, audio clips, DMs. Mason's wife printed it all, labeled it with dates, and handed it directly to the bailiff. The judge took it without a word. Maya didn't know she was coming. Mason didn't either. His lawyer wasn't prepared for anything. When the judge read the first piece of evidence, correspondence between the defendant and a married third party, Maya froze. Cassidy whispered something to her. Mason's wife didn't look at her, or me, or Mason, just stared straight ahead. The court granted me full temporary custody. Supervised visitation for Maya, 3 hours a week, in a public place. She had no job, no address, no stability. The judge asked if she had access to support. She said she'd figure it out. Cassidy stood up after the ruling and yelled, "This is an injustice." The bailiff told her to sit down or leave. She left, her flip-flops echoing louder than her attitude. Outside, Maya tried to catch up to me in the hall. "You planned all this," she said. "Correct," I replied. "This isn't right. What you did isn't right. You're punishing me for being honest. You lied for months." She turned to Marilyn. "And you're okay with helping him do this?" Marilyn clutched her briefcase. "He's my client. He didn't cheat. He didn't lie. He followed the law. You gave him the tools. I just showed him how to use them." Maya started crying again in the hallway, sitting on a bench. Mason's wife walked past us, stopped, turned to Maya, and said, "Tell Mason I changed the locks too." She didn't raise her voice, didn't sound emotional, just kept walking. Maya didn't speak for 30 seconds, just stared down the hall as if the floor had betrayed her. I walked to the parking lot. Marilyn followed. We didn't talk much. I opened her door for her. She got in. That night, Cassidy posted again. She called me vengeful, said I used the courts to steal children, that I weaponized the system in my favor. Marilyn sent a cease and desist letter. By the next morning, the post was gone. Maya tried texting me from a new number. "The kids need their mother. This isn't you. Please, let's talk without lawyers." I didn't reply. The next week, she called from a friend's phone. The grapevine said she was sleeping on a borrowed couch. She said she didn't expect this outcome. She said she didn't know Mason was married. Then she asked for a second chance. I didn't respond. She begged. Then she threatened. Then she tried guilt. Nothing changed. The following week, she sent an email. "Can I at least have the car?" I replied, "It's registered to my business." That was it. I kept everything clean, no emotion, no chaos. Marilyn handled the paperwork. The custody order became permanent 2 months later. Maya didn't fight it, couldn't afford to. The judge saw everything. No appeals, no arguments. The kids stopped asking why she wasn't around after a month. I didn't badmouth her, just told them she needed space. They moved on. Kids are resilient when the house is calm. Marilyn kept in touch every few days. Legal matters. Calendar updates. One Friday, she brought a folder over in person instead of emailing. Said she was in the area. We had coffee. She told me about growing up with a father in a similar mess. She wasn't usually personal. This time she was. She asked how I was adjusting. I told her the truth. I feel like I've been living with a stranger for the last 2 years. I'm just now finding peace again. She smiled. She said I'd handled it like an adult. No drama. No threats. Just a clean exit. She stayed for another hour. We talked about everything but the case. When she left, she paused at the door. You did good. Your kids are lucky. I replied, I was lucky too. I had the right help. 2 quiet months passed. No calls, no drama, no surprise visits. The kids settled into the new routine. I handled the mornings, school, lunches, drop-offs. The nights were easier. The house stayed clean, the laundry folded, the fridge full. The kids stopped asking when mom was coming back. Maya showed up for the supervised visits, but she was never consistent. She missed 3 in a row without explanation. I documented everything, just as Marilyn had instructed. One day, she showed up late, half an hour into her session. She looked like she hadn't slept. Sweatshirt, old jeans, no makeup, dark circles under her eyes. She sat across from the kids on the park bench like a guest, not a mother. No toys, no snacks, just forced questions and empty smiles. My youngest didn't say a word. My oldest asked if she was sick. She said no, just tired. He nodded and went back to his juice box. After the visit, I got a call from the court-appointed supervisor. She's not engaged. If she keeps missing or showing up unprepared, the visits could be suspended. I told him to document everything. No comment. Marilyn sent me a new form that week, a petition to formalize full custody. Maya filed no response. The deadline passed. Default judgment. Done. I kept my house, my kids, my truck, my peace. Maya was left with nothing. The next week, Cassidy texted me. You think you're better now? You broke her. She's in a motel. She has nothing. You made your point. I left her on read. A day later, Maya wrote to me directly. I'm homeless. My parents cut me off. I can't afford a lawyer. Please, help me. I'm still their mother. She attached a list of things, clothes, old books, a few keepsakes. Nothing of value. I replied with a single line. Everything on your list is in a box. You can pick it up from the porch on Friday between 9 and 12. She didn't write back. On Friday, she showed up late, took the box without looking inside, without making eye contact, without trying to talk. Just got back in her car, sat for 10 minutes, and drove off. That was the last time I saw her in person. A week later, Marilyn came by the house to go over the final documents. The court had closed the case, custody and assets settled. All sealed, every loose end tied. She brought coffee. I made breakfast. It wasn't a date, just closure. Afterward, we sat on the porch while I cleaned up. The kids were at their grandparents' that weekend. The house was quiet. She asked how I was doing. Not a casual question, a direct one. Better, I said. She asked if I ever thought about what would have happened if she'd never cheated. I didn't answer. I didn't have to. She nodded. You don't have to pretend you're okay. I'm not pretending. I'm clear. She smiled, leaned back in her chair, relaxed. We talked more after that. Not about the court, not about Maya. Just normal stuff. Food, family, music, her job, my crew. Things without consequences. The conversation was easy, effortless. When she left, she paused at the door again. This time longer. I'm here, she said. Not professionally, just in general. I nodded. I appreciate that. She smiled, got in her car, and drove away. No pressure, no expectations. That night I looked around the house. Still clean, still functional, no fake fights, no walking on eggshells, no wondering who she was texting. Just peace. That was the difference. 2 more months passed. Maya vanished from social media. Her name stopped appearing on court notifications. Word got out that Mason's wife divorced him, fast and clean. She got the house, the kids, the SUV. Mason moved in with a friend in another city, no job, no custody, probably still using gym selfies for validation. Cassidy went quiet, likely busy finding someone else to leech off of. Maya wrote one more time, a single line. I'm not getting hired this time. I have nowhere to go. I forwarded it to Marilyn. She flagged it and filed it away, no action needed. 2 weeks later, a text from her mother. She's in a shelter. What kind of man lets the mother of his children suffer like this? I didn't reply. I didn't care what they thought anymore. I wasn't there to fix what she broke. I was just making sure it never landed on my doorstep again. By the end of summer, the kids and I had a rhythm. I worked, I saved, I raised them right. Their grades went up, their attitudes stabilized. They smiled more, laughed louder. I started taking them on trips on the weekends. Nothing fancy. Hiking, fishing, bowling, just time together. One Sunday, Marilyn texted me. Did you ever try that barbecue place I recommended? I told her no, but the kids loved ribs. She asked if I wanted company next time. Not flirty, just direct. I said sure. We went that Friday. She met us there. No heels, no folders, just jeans and a t-shirt. She talked to the kids like she'd known them forever. Joked with them, asked real questions. She didn't talk down to them or patronize them. They liked her. So did I. After dinner, I offered to walk her to her car. The kids were passed out in the truck, bellies full of sauce and fries. We stood by her door, no awkwardness. She asked, "You think you're ready for normal again?" I replied, "I'm not in a rush." Good. No pressure, just something real. I watched her drive off. I didn't feel nervous or desperate, just steady. The last email I got from Maya came a few weeks later. She said she'd been accepted into a transitional housing program. She had to attend therapy, apply for jobs, check in weekly. She said she was trying to be better. No begging, no blame. I didn't reply. Marilyn and I saw each other a few more times after that. Always casual, never complicated. Sometimes just coffee, sometimes with the kids, sometimes without. She never asked for more than I could give. I never pretended to be something I wasn't. And that's what worked. Because after everything, after the betrayal, the lies, the legal mess, the online smears, I never raised my voice. I didn't hit anyone, didn't send threats, didn't burn bridges. I just let her walk right into the disaster she created for herself. And when the dust settled, I was still standing, quiet, focused, steady, while she was left with nothing but silence. 3 months later, I saw her coming out of a nail salon in a strip mall with a trash bag over her shoulder. Not a duffel bag, not a suitcase, a trash bag. She looked thinner, pale, wearing the same pair of knockoff sneakers she used to make fun of other women for wearing. I didn't say anything, just sat in my truck on the other side of the parking lot, engine running, watching her get into a car that wasn't hers, probably a rideshare or her parents'. Hard to say. Her dad blocked me on Facebook after I stopped paying their rent. Maya's life fell apart fast. First, the job interviews crumbled. Turns out, not many employers want to hire someone with no recent work history and a reputation for legal trouble. Mason disappeared a week after I kicked her out. His wife cleaned him out in court, got the house, full custody, and even half his gym equipment. He lives in a 1-bedroom apartment now and, last I heard, drives for Uber at night. When Maya realized Mason wasn't going to build a life with her, she tried to crawl back. Block number, then a new email, then another number. It all went straight to spam. She even tried using her cousin's account to message me on Facebook. Said she was confused, missed the kids, that we could fix it for them. I didn't answer. I stayed focused. The divorce was finalized in 43 days. Thanks to Marilyn's prep work, everything was solid. Maya tried to contest it financially. She claimed I tricked her into signing the quitclaim deed. The judge looked at the papers and asked one question. "Did you read the document before you signed it?" She said no. The judge nodded. Case closed. She got nothing, literally nothing. No house, no truck, no savings. She asked for spousal support. Marilyn presented the evidence of infidelity. The judge denied it immediately. She cried in court, loud, dramatic. She said I had emotionally manipulated her. She claimed the open marriage thing was mutual. Marilyn slid over a printed text. "Maybe we should try an open marriage. I've been feeling bored." Straight from Maya's phone. After that, she didn't even show up to the next hearing. The kid stayed with me. She didn't fight for custody. Not really. She said she needed time to heal. Translation: she knew she would lose and didn't want the responsibility. I didn't push, just filed the papers. No fight, no drama. A clean signature, and it was done. I hired a cleaning crew. They deep cleaned the house. I bought new furniture, threw out the old sheets, burned the mattress. I reset everything. I wasn't bitter, I was clean. Marilyn came by to drop off the finalized documents. The kids were at my parents' that weekend. I offered her coffee. She laughed and said, "You know, most men would have broken with half of what you went through." I shrugged. I was raised to finish what I start. She paused. "And to start what you intend to finish." I looked at her, calm, simple. "Yeah," I said. "That too." She didn't leave right away. We talked for a bit. She asked how I was adjusting. I told her the truth. I liked the quiet. She nodded like she already knew. By then, she'd kicked off her heels. She sat on my couch with one leg tucked under her. She said something about her own divorce years ago. Nothing emotional, just facts. We didn't kiss. None of that. But when she left, she smiled. I hadn't seen a real smile in months. A few weeks later, we took the kids to a minor league game as friends. But the way she handled herself around them, buying the right snacks, knowing when to step in and when to step back, it was different. She didn't fake anything, didn't force anything. She just existed in a way that made sense. Maya, meanwhile, was couch surfing. Her friends ditched her when the drama faded down. She blew through her savings trying to start over. The rumor was she tried to sue Mason after he bailed on her. They laughed her out of mediation. I got a call from her mother. Said Maya was staying with them, wasn't eating much, that she regretted everything. I listened, didn't say a word. Then I hung up. That night, Marilyn texted me. Asked if I wanted to get dinner. Nothing fancy, just takeout. Said she'd order ribs. The kids were asleep. I sat on the edge of the bed for a moment, looking at the clean floor, no clutter, no guilt, no fake yoga bags hiding lingerie. I texted back yes. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.